The Book of Joseph. Genesis, chapter 37 to chapter 50. Joseph, the favored son of Jacob and Rachel, incurs the jealousy of his brothers because of his dreams that suggest he will one day rule over them. This jealousy intensifies when Jacob gifts Joseph a richly ornamented coat. Out of envy, Joseph's brothers sell him into slavery to a caravan of Ishmaelites heading to Egypt, deceiving their father into believing Joseph was killed by a wild animal. In Egypt, Joseph is sold to Potiphar, the captain of Pharaoh's guard. Despite facing adversity, Joseph excels due to the Lord's presence with him, becoming overseer of Potiphar's house. However, after rejecting advances from Potiphar's wife and being falsely accused of misconduct, Joseph is imprisoned. Yet he finds favor even in jail, eventually interpreting dreams for two of Pharaoh's officials. Joseph's ability to interpret dreams leads him to interpret Pharaoh's troubling dreams, predicting 7 years of plenty followed by 7 years of famine. Impressed by Joseph's wisdom, Pharaoh appoints him as the second in command of Egypt, tasked with preparing for the famine. As the famine spreads, it reaches Canaan, forcing Joseph's brothers to come to Egypt in search of food. Joseph recognizes them, but they do not recognize him. After a series of tests to determine their character and whether they have changed, Joseph reveals his identity. The reunion is emotional, with Joseph forgiving his brothers for their betrayal, recognizing that their actions were part of God's plan to save lives. Joseph invites Jacob and his family to live in Egypt, providing them with land in Goshen. The story culminates with Jacob blessing his sons before his death, including a special blessing for Joseph and his sons, Ephraim and Manasseh. After Jacob's death, Joseph reassures his brothers of his forgiveness and affirms his faith in God's providence. Joseph dies in Egypt at the age of 110, but not before expressing his hope that God would lead his people back to the promised land, requesting that his bones be carried back when that time comes.